I'm Beau Johnson. It's January 2nd, 2026. Welcome to yes2hellwith.com. Today I'd like to share a striking contrast with you. Pay close attention because this distinction matters. Consider a simple fact. Have you ever seen a framework compel artificial intelligence itself to admit that the federal government operates the income tax laws through fraudulent presumption rather than proof? Well, the Liberty Dialogues has done just that. This is no small matter. I'll state it plainly. When most people ask AI about the scope of the federal income tax, it gives predictable surface-level answers suggesting that everyone must file and comply. But when AI is forced to respond through the Liberty Dialogues filter, it concedes something critical, that the federal income tax is limited to those within federal jurisdiction. This is not a minor clarification, it is a major revelation and a useful tool. So knowing that the Liberty Dialogues withstand scrutiny when tested, doesn't it make sense to use it as a filter for every theory, every quote, and every claim promoted by gurus? If a claim cannot survive this filter, it is not a strategy. It's a liability. Gurus sell shortcuts to dead ends. The Liberty Dialogues teach discipline. And if you're listening to this, you're probably not naive. You didn't randomly decide to distrust the system, for example. You sensed something was wrong. Jurisdiction that never seems proven, taxation that feels detached from consent, courts that move forward no matter what you say. That instinct is real. It's credible, and we need to listen to it. So here is the contrast that I promised. Many of the claims circulating today about citizenship, jurisdiction, and taxation do not come from courts, statutes, or enforceable law. They come from gurus, people who speak with confidence and certainty, but without accountability. One of the most common examples of guru-driven misinformation is this quotation repeatedly offered as proof that citizenship itself is a hidden legal construct. Quote, "A citizen of the United States is a civilly dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the PCT, or Public Charitable Trust, the constructive Sestuike Trust of the U.S. Inc., under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the United States of America and U.S. Inc." End quote. Now, this guru cites Congressional Record, June 13th, 1967, pages 15641 through 15646. This quote is almost always paired with a link to the Congressional Record to reinforce credibility. At first glance, it appears airtight, a real document, a real date, specific page numbers. For those already exhausted by enforcement and fraudulent presumption, it feels like the missing explanation, the story that finally makes the system make sense. When this claim is run through the Liberty Dialogues filter, when the actual pages of the Congressional Record are examined, the language is checked against the source and the claim is measured against how courts actually operate. That's when this theory collapses. The quotation does not appear in the Congressional Record as presented. The cited pages do exist, but they contain opinions, debate, and commentary, not binding law. They do not establish a trust. They do not define citizenship as civil death. They do not impose debt obligations through a hidden corporate structure. And most importantly, courts do not recognize any such framework as operative law. This is not a harmless misunderstanding. It's dangerous. When people take language like this into a legal setting or build their posture around it, they are not putting the government on the defensive. They are handing the system something it knows how to ignore. Courts do not rebut symbolic narratives. They bypass them. The case proceeds untouched, and the person is left confused, frustrated, and often worse off than before. This is how people lose time, money, energy, and peace of mind while believing that they are uncovering something profound. The Liberty Dialogues exist to stop this waste. Today, you no longer have to trust anyone blindly. You can upload the Liberty Dialogues framework into ChatGPT or another AI system and test claims like this against primary sources, procedural reality, and actual court behavior. When you do, many false theories fall away immediately, not because they're suppressed, but because they were never actually structurally sound. Confirming a flawed theory early saves years of chasing dead ends. It saves legal fees. It saves emotional exhaustion, and it replaces fear with orientation. That is why the Liberty Dialogues emphasize posture over gimmicks. Instead of chasing quotes, theories, or dramatic filings, the work points toward something quieter and far more effective, a statement of understanding. Not as a weapon, not as a demand, but as preparation, a way to establish your position in advance, to clarify non-consent and prevent silence from being mischaracterized later on as agreement. For many people, this is the moment of relief. No more rabbit holes. No more guru promises. No more scrambling when the system acts first. I've prepared a detailed report for Inner Circle and Patriot members of yes2hellwith.com, including the actual pages cited from the congressional record, the primary source itself. Because if you're going to prepare for legal conflict, we should do it with evidence, not mythology. We do not prepare with false hope. We do not prepare with powerless arguments. We prepare with truth and wisdom. That means acknowledging the system for what it is and understanding its procedures and rules, how authority is asserted and how jurisdiction is presumed and how silence becomes consent. Anything less is theater. The system is not defeated by uncovering what is believed to be the hidden key. It slows only when it is forced, procedurally, to justify what it assumes. The Liberty Dialogues don't tell you what to believe. It gives you a way to stop believing things that can hurt you. And one final point, because clarity matters. The statement of understanding is not a template or a shortcut. It cannot be responsibly issued without grounding. That is why participation in the statement of understanding process is limited to those who have worked through the Liberty Dialogues themselves. Not to exclude, but to protect. The statement of understanding only has meaning if the person executing it understands presumption, authority, status, standing, jurisdiction, posture, and consequences. Without that foundation, a statement of understanding becomes noise, and noise inside a presumption-based system is dangerous. This isn't about access, it's about readiness. And only those who have done that work are prepared to take the next step carefully, deliberately, and without illusion. And as always, may truth reign supreme.